We are live today with the MITS car series at Wallerfield. This is the first time we've been here. It's actually a brand new racetrack, at least on the schedule. I mean, it's been made for a good little while, but this is the first time any class has been here. So it's quite good to see. We're just going to put this stream up on the channel real quickly, as soon as we can find it. There we go. So it's been a very hot minute since MITS car has been racing. It's been about a whole month. Last time was at the SNGP event last October. So that gives you a reference of how long it's been. So of course, as you guys know, we're gonna have a 5-minute long qualifying session. As I'm driving a pretty unique Miata, we are also followed by Nikolaus, who will be our flag man. He is the local Trinity. This is a Trinity track. He's a local here. He probably knows more than I do about this place, so he'll be a little bit helpful here. I think all of you guys are ready. We're just gonna check, make sure qualifying stuff works. Not quite sure how I'm going to do this, to come to think of it. Actually, I know exactly how. Okay, we're gonna do one lap around the track, clear all times. I'm gonna pull off. You see the little area where the track cuts in? I'm gonna pull off there. I think it might be the best. No, I'm gonna pull off turn number 1. Yeah. Pull it off of turn 1. Let's go. Yeah, just now taking off here. Hold pace, guys. Please hold pace. Alright, so there's 7 cars here. And you guys got 5 minutes here. Let's just wait. Make the way up to the final turn. As the green flag drops for the field, we now make our way up to the front stretch, up to the start-finish line. 5 minutes will start right now. Across the line, coming down the front stretch as we'll clear the board. Everyone is finally crossed. Those tires can be a little bit sketchy. Thankfully, I don't think anyone's fallen victim to them yet. As we are being led off by Silver. Silver has he had a very good performance just yesterday with Rotsmods and Formula Micros when we were at OAM. Look at the first times. They will go top of the board. They do not have a valid lap, and it looks like we don't have any valid laps currently, except for Dale Ross. Dale Ross coming up onto the top of the board. It's a 33.461, just getting a lap in. Of course, that's the most important part you got to do on these road courses, is just to get a lap in. You can be the fastest car on track, but if you're not setting any good laps, it's not going to be very relevant. Here we go down the final turn once again onto the front stretch. Very short racetrack this is. I think it's only a little bit over 3/4 of a mile. Also, Nico, the flag stand is, or there's flags at the start-finish line if you want to take them. As we see, Silver has taken the top of the board. They've gone quick times to 32.117. Dale is only in second. Here's Arisnetta about to fall a lap down. I think they've just been trying to run their qualifying. There is Silver making a move here, and they do not go any faster. Twin Turbo V6 goes top of the board, by the way, to 31.796, as Aris will hit the wall of turn number 1, so will Mr. Monaco. So two of them suffering a little bit of a big wall hit there. Of course, those tires are going to slow you down significantly more than other typical walls will, so not fun to do. Check the time code again. Twitch movie sits is running hot. Here he goes across the start finish line. He's not going to go any faster, but Silver will take the top spot away as we near the halfway point of this qualifying session. Of course, pack leader is Silver, and that's going to determine whether or not we have an extra lap or not. They have a very big gap developed between them and the rest of the field. Just a completely open track. And looks like they're on route for another fast lap here. Again, 31.777. It's going to probably go down here. So when we cross the line, it's not much. It's only a couple thousandths off of the quickest time, so running the consistent game by far. We're over halfway done with this race, 2 minutes left to go. As Silver is on a green sector 1, making the way down into the hairpin on the final turn, now down to the front stretch. Silver coming across the line. They go quicker. It's a 31.765. Very, very fast. Twin is not far behind though, as far as pace goes. I don't see too many shifts in position. Of course, as of now, it's Silver Wumi, Twin Wumi sits in Crucian, Mr. Monaco, Tenafis, Beige, and Arizonetta in last. 7 cars fielded up for today's race. I think it'll be a pretty good one. And we don't exactly have a grid here, so we're gonna have a rolling start. One thing kind of interesting about the MITS car series is the alternating rolling and grid starts from race to race. There'll probably be some more official. Ooh, Twin is out. He rolls and spins out, and Silver Wumi's gone even quicker with 1 minute left. Of course, we're going to see if that's going to be the final lap or not coming up in a little bit. Silver Wumi making the way across through the S's, now out into sector 2 along the hairpin out to the front straight. Doesn't look like Silver is really going to go much quicker. And it looks like we're going to go into the white flag. So once you guys cross the start finish line here, it's going to be the white flag. Silver Wumi does not improve. Meanwhile, it's looking very quick for Twin as everyone gets onto the white flag. The final turn. They're going to set us up for the finish. They are looking a little bit quicker this time around, and the checkers are out for Silver Wumi. And the lights are glitching. Silver Wumi goes even quicker. Head to the pits, please. Head to the pits. It's at 31.614. And I don't know if anyone's going to be able to beat that time. Here's Twin making the way to the start-finish line. They're purple on their second sector, but not any quicker. All right. So as we see, it's a pole position by Silver. We're going to talk to our pole sitter here. We are done with qualifying. I think Dale might have retired. He's not happy with this pace starting in 4th for whichever reason. And meanwhile, we're going to talk to our pole sitter. That is Silver. That was a very strong performance by you today, so far coming up to qualifying. How do you think this race is going to fare for you?
Well, if everything goes according to plan, then I might get a podium. That's what I'm aiming for at the moment.
Aiming for a podium. You've been setting laps just perfect every single time. Let's see if you'll uphold that one. All right. Thank you there. So we're going to set up the grid for the race. So I need you guys to line up single file is going to be Silver Wilmy at pole position. Twin Turbo V6 is going to be right behind them. We're doing single file pacing, of course. And third will be Mr. Monaco. And fourth place is going to be Dale Ross if he was here, though he's not. So in that place is going to be Tenafis. Behind them will be Beige, who's also not here. And that leaves us with Arisnetta. A lot of pre-race retirements. So. You're going to remove the non-qualifying cars, and we'll have 5 starters for a 5-car race. Of course, there's a saying that's been pretty big in SLC, and that's that you don't need a big field to have a big race. That was a pretty big race we had back in GoBoard with the MITS cars. If anyone was around for that one, that was just something next level. Okay, we're going to clear some extra cars. I'm just going to re-twin here. Twin, I don't want to see any cheeky business. You can see over there, that is actually next season's Ross mod being worked on. Nothing much to note of that, though, for the moment. And yeah, Twin was sorted, so you are right, Tenafis. Yeah, I don't want to see any funny business with your admin commands, especially for you, Twin. This one done. We got a 35 lap race ahead of us. We're gonna do 3 laps of pacing. I don't have those perms. Quarter cut limit for today is going to be 25 watts. We're gonna do 3 pace laps. Looks like things are set up. We're gonna put the little not a big field. I was gonna do the national anthem, but we'll hold off till the Formula Micro race for that one. In the meanwhile, let's get this one started. So look at the lights. There will be a yellow flag in just a moment here. Go in the car, have you goes. Eris is not out of her car. Please, Eris. I don't like these unannounced not being readies, because that does interfere with racing. Eris, stop! Eris, stop! We're already there. If you're gonna be AFK, please tell us. Don't do that. For the sake of it, if you need to go AFK, don't just go AFK. We're not gonna know if you are or not. So line up behind them. You know what happened to Speedy when he took a shower. Go to the back. Okay? Alright. We're gonna go yellow again. We're gonna do 3 pace laps. Huge lag spike, of course. And Nico's following us with the yellow flag. Nico, can you eye to see how they're pacing? I'm sure everybody's been checking. I don't think the alignment's right. Apologies. Feels like it's leaning to the left like a NASCAR. Set up for pacing. There's one more lap here. Full pace. I'm gonna just head over here. Alright. The yellow flag here. It looks like everyone is pacing properly. We get a lag spike, but it looks like everything else is gonna be good for the meanwhile. Out of the final turn. And now we're taking it across the start finish line. Green flag! That's a great start by everyone. Get a lag spike, but looks like everything is clean. No jumps, everything is looking good. Now to turn number 1 is going to be Silver Woman leading us off. Here's Twin! Twin right on the rear bumper. As it is side by side for the lead. If you want to, Nico, feel free. He's jumping decidedly. Feel free to take photos if you desire to. We're going to see how this one goes. And it looks like out of the first lap, your race leader is going to be Twin Turbo V6. As Twin breaks the lap time record, he goes quick time. I was about to reset the board before the cross, but thankfully he already broke it, so we should be good on that one. He's looking even faster this time around, so. There's Netta, side by side with her teammates, Tennifies. Meanwhile, Mr. Monaco hanging out in 3rd place. There's Netta making a move down into turn number 1, but she's gonna go too hot. Hits the barriers and Tennifies is gonna slide by. Meanwhile, Silver is just behind Twin Turbo V6, attempting to make a move. Remember, you have 25 cuts until you get a 10-second time penalty, so make sure you're aware of that. That could hurt long term. He goes frantically running around the track, waving a flag. Car still stays ahead of Arsenetta. Not much to report for the time being, although it is great to see these cars back in action at Wallerfield. It's interesting to see a first-time race, of course. some other drivers later with the Formula Micros. One definitely of note will be Shuffle. We have not seen him all weekend, although I think for the final event this weekend, for this preliminary season weekend, by the way, because next week, of course, that's going to be the last one. We haven't seen Shuffle, although he stated his interest racing just after this one. So we're now 5 laps into the race, 1/5 way through, and the field has remotely spread out. Probably is going to stay green. Has extended his gap over the rest of the field by about a second and a half at least from Silver. Meanwhile, Mr. Monaco running in for a solid podium as they make their way into the final turn. So top 3 kind of in their own group. Meanwhile, Tenafis and Eris, they were dogfighting. Looks like that is, oh! That could be significant there. Tenafis had gotten loose out of the final turn. It's going to kill a lot of their entrance speed. Eris is flashing her lights very much so, trying to intimidate Tenafis into making a mistake here. As Eris will downshift quite a bit into turn number 1. She's right behind though. I think that remains the closest battle. Now into the final turn, Eris with a dive on the inside. That's a very aggressive move by Eris Netta, and it doesn't seem to pay as well as you would think. The first turn, and it looks like it's still Tenafis up ahead of Eris Netta. Cuts are going to be significant towards the end of the race. It's going to be 25 cuts there. So you guys are going to want to be watching how much cuts you're getting. You guys didn't seem to have this many cuts during practice, so you might want to just be aware. It's mainly towards Mr. Monaco. So we are about to go 3rd into the race here. Tenafis gets a little loose off the second turn. Here comes Eris. About 2 car lengths separating them. Side by side. And Eris goes around the outside. It was a great move by Eris now to get by Tenafis. And it's worked just perfectly for her. It's loose again, very loose here. That might allow an opportunity to open up for Tenafis to pick it up. So look at the board, currently Twin is still a quick time. So the cars are separated by about 4 car lengths, and it's spanning. I think Eris Netta is probably going to start walking. That's not the case, that's definitely not the case. Tenafis is closed down to just a car length. We're just going to make sure the rest of the race. Okay, so yeah, this is the battle on the track currently. It's a battle for 4th between Eris and teammate Tenafis. Or at least I think so. They are on a Rev Sport car, so I could be wrong about that. I know that Eris is currently driving a Fortune machine. Has gotten a great exit over Eris Netta. But it looks like Eris is going to create more speed and gets away with it. Just going to rest of the field, make sure everything was. Yeah. Again, the battle between Eris and Tenafis continues, although it looks like Eris is going to extend this gap by the end of the lap, and we are closely approaching halfway. About 3 laps or so. Crosses the line, and meanwhile, Silver actually has been catching up a little bit towards Twin Turbo V6 these last couple laps. You can now see Twin back on frame as they make the way through the start-finish line. About 2 seconds still separating the two. This time by will be the crosswalks, will be halfway done. Once you guys cross the start-finish line. Yeah, I'm not going to count that time as reliable. That was a lag spike during that. Mr. Monaco could have a bit of a sigh of relief. Arizona hits the wall off at turn number 1. And Tenafis meows by. That looks unfortunate for the series organizer, Arizona, but Tenafis probably going to be a little bit like, yeah, or something like that. Of course, this is, there's Air's flash turn lights. The gap between Twin Turbo V6 and Silver has been closing down little by little. So it looks like that's going to be the next closest battle this time by. When they cross the line, it's going to be 15 laps to go. So we are closing in towards the end of the race. Goes the way that it's going, we might just about see a battle stir up. So 15 to go now for Twin Turbo V6. He comes across the line. Next up is Silver, and there's a little progress. They are closing down that gap little by little, only about 1.5 seconds between the two cars. Sounded like something happened to Twin and he got a little loose, or maybe he lagged some. And Twin is on the limits. That time by was a little bit slower for Silver. Again, it's the push to the limits for these two. Meanwhile, Air's net off screen has gotten by from Tenafis once again. They cross over side by side down the front stretch, and Tenafis will overtake, but Arizona is carrying more speed. She's looking down at the inside, goes back outside. So at least two continue to battle on. Very interesting looking exit. That might have been a slightly better exit, but she's bad on her shift. It's looking a lot faster for Silver. Has a gap. Not closed down any. Tenafly's on the final turn as they hit the braking point side by side. Side by side down the front stretch, and it looks like Eris is trying to carry a little bit more speed, and she will make a move down to the inside. Back out outside, Tenafly's overtakes. It's by, and Eris Netta will stay right behind in 5th place. Eris Netta gave the flash to Tenafly's. She goes right against their bumper, down to the front stretch. Is that going to be another move here to make an overtake? Side by side down the front stretch into turn number 1. And Eris is going to go wide. Tenafly's gets by. There's a big crossover between these two. You could just about see Tenafly, or you just see Twin Turbo V6 right in the background. Maybe he might overlap them coming towards the end of the race. We are 10 laps to go, by the way, coming into line. As the two still side by side down the front stretch, Eris Netta clearing ahead of Tenafly's into turn number 1. But Tenafly's is still right there. Eris Netta will be ahead of Tenafly's. How long is that going to last? That was a great looking exit by the Brazilian. And Silver Woomy has down that gap to about a second between them and Twin Turbo V6. So not only is their battle for first is looking like it's about to stir up here. The second separate the two. Down the S's again. You can see Nico hopping in. Some kind of stuff. I think this is a lot better here for Twin. About a 10th faster. And so next time 5 will be 5 laps to go. So we are at the last bit of the race for MITS car. Now going down the front stretch, and Eris Netta stays ahead. How is it looking like for the lead? The lead has been cut down to less than a second. He might be inching up towards a very close finish. Lap cars might slow Twin down. Meanwhile, to report, Mr. Monaco is off pretty much on a Sunday cruise, quite literally so. There's nothing really for him to worry about. We look at the cuts. He's kind of close to getting the penalty, but even if he does, it's not going to really affect him. Cars in it. There's 4 cars racing here, and 2 of them are about to be overlapped. Twin's gonna have to navigate by from Tenafly's. I think on his POV he's just by him. He's gonna run up to the top of the track, creating a lot more speed, so clearly helping them. And as Twin clears off the first lap car, gets into the lap car sandwich though. Significantly, you've noticed that, like lap cars, they've been taking a tighter line leaders have been going all the way out, which carries a lot more speed onto the front stretch. Silver Wooey's cut it down to about half a second here. We got 2 more laps to go. It's going to be a close one, but Tenafai's it's ahead. It looks like Silver Wooey is falling back that time. Something happens to Nika. White flag in the air for twin turbo V6. And if it does finish like this, just for action reasons, if Eris is ahead, we're going to let Tenafai's still have the opportunity to continue for another lap. Closing in here around the final turn. Only a couple car lengths separate the 2 leaders. It'll be a close finish, but your winner is twin turbo V6. Second place goes to Silver. You guys step aside, let the lap cars fit their own race. 10-5 has 1 to go. As does Eris. Mr. Monaco comes across the line in 3rd place with a safely secured podium. Nobody gets any penalties. Tenafai's overtaking Arisnetta. Now it's to the line, side by side, down the line for the 4th place position. Arisnetta gets it back. Arisnetta will finish in 4th place. 5th place is going to be Tenafai's. Our race winner is going to be Twin Turbo V6, who's out in the forest. So, Twin, if you want to, one second, let me get over to you. Twin, if you want to take a photo, head to the front stretch, okay? Our race has been settled. Of course, your results are Twin Turbo V6, Silver, Mr. Monaco, Arisnetta, and Tenafai's. We'll be seeing you guys also a little bit for the MITS car race. Sorry, Formula Micro. I had nothing to do with the corner cuts, I should clarify. I don't know who made them, but I didn't do anything to them. So. Alright. You can shield in front of your car. Alright, so we got our winner, Twin Turbo V6. Take a screenshot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. So we're now going to mute. So Twin Turbo V6. It was a bit of a close finish. I think a little bit too close for comfort. Still an overall very dominant performance. So how were you, and how was today's track?
Track was nice actually for once, considering it's new. The CCs I'd still say could be improved because I did get multiple CCs while I was within the lane, meaning like 2 tires were on the asphalt. So I don't know if those will be fixed or not, but
Well, I mean, you know
yeah.
that you're supposed to stay on the asphalt. So.
What do you mean?
I mean,
I was
I'm the one
asphalt.
that made it, but
The CCs will be fixed.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the track's nice considering it's small and stuff. Like I definitely love these types of tracks that are like 2 kilometers maybe, if I'm gonna guess.
More like a kilometer and a half.
Kilometer and a half, yeah. I just enjoy these types of short tracks where it's just, you know, very simple, easy to get right, and that usually creates pretty close racing, as you saw. Although I definitely had my fair share of mistakes, like going over the curb in the last corner way too many times. That definitely put me into the wall. And the first corner also is a nice challenge too. But yeah, It was a nice race overall. I didn't really feel like I was under threat too much because I knew I still had the pace to offset my mistakes that I made, so it was just nice. But yeah, just a good race, and near the end it was nice to see, like, I guess you could call a four-car battle, but it wasn't really a four-car battle. It was more like two separate battles right beside each other. Since it wasn't entirely for position, but it's still a nice race overall. Congrats to Silver and everyone else.
All right, well, thank you there, Twin Turbo V6. We'll see how next week goes at AIC. Apparently, you've locked the championship in the next class. Are you gonna be around for that one? Sorry. Are you gonna be around for the Formula Micros? Because apparently, at least according to Shuffle's points, you got the championship locked in.
Apparently, I'm actually really happy about that because it's my first championship for that one, so I guess I can add that to my resume or something for Roblox. Yeah, it's nice to win new things, I guess. And yeah.
All right. Well, thank you there, Twin Turbo V6. We'll see you later on. And next up, down the line in second place. That was a very close finish. Probably would have been a little closer had there been more time. What do you have to say, Silver?
Well, the fight was good from the beginning to the end. I had a couple of moments. I touched the wall on the exit of turn 1 twice. I forgot to shift up twice again. And in general, I had issues with shifting up from gear 3 to gear 4. I don't know why. I just kind of forgot how to polish. But yeah, the race overall was very fun, very close. Congrats to Twin for winning the race.
All right. Well, thank you there, Silver. Looks like you've been having a pretty interesting race weekend too overall, but it was a good little race here. All right. Well, next up is Mr. Monaco. I'd have to say that's probably the most chill race, to say the least. I mean, there wasn't really much battling. We're kind of just driving there, but there wasn't really any stress. You had to pretty much locked in third place for most of that race. How are you feeling? Oh, he's all right. Speaking of this race, I was just Sunday cruising. After some silly mistakes, I realized I could not fight for P2 or P1 anymore. So I just tested track limits. You really didn't have anything to worry. Like, you could have gone with a 10-second time penalty and you would have been pretty much fine. So that's fair enough to understand there. So, thank you there, Mr. Monica. There's one more car, or, well, there's actually two. There's the battle we just had there between Arisneta and Tennifies. Doesn't seem like Aris is here, so we're gonna unmute Tennifies in the meanwhile. So Tennifies coming up in 5th place. That was a very close finish at the end. It looks like you almost had it with Aris, but run me through that little battle you and Aris had.
I mean, the cars just suck. Really, I'm not fit with them. The upshifting in the cars was extremely awkward, considering it's kind of a race car. It's not a stock Miata. It takes really long for you to like set to 3rd to 4th, and then even get the power on the car working. I tried revving up to the limit. It doesn't work. Short shifting, the torque doesn't even help either, and doing the gears is confusing. The CCs on the track were kind of shit as well. There was only one that I can actually call that was fair, was at the final turn where I went kind of wide, and then I got a CC. But especially on turn 3, the exit of it, if you go just a bit wider, like if you do half a car length out of the track, you get a corner cut, and it's really just confusing. At turn 1, the same thing happened or something. 5th gears also feels unnecessarily long. It doesn't even give you any power, and I don't know why some people in the race were being so fuming about a cat horn that went meow. You know, when I pressed H. I don't know. That's really all I have to say. Car slow, CC bad. That's it.
It seems like 10-5 is used to the IRP cars and respectable.
It's not even that. It's not even that.
Okay. Well, regardless, thank you there. So Arisnata coming across the line in 4th place today.
I'm
That
back.
was a big battle you and 10-5 had. How are you feeling?
Interesting. And also Tenafis, their MB gear ratios.
And?
Their NB gear ratios. Don't blame me, blame Mazda. The car is like
And
100,
why
no,
the question?
250 horsepower.
But Hotspur doesn't do anything Torque does. And it's a line as
Yeah,
well.
but kill yourself.
Okay.
Well,
I
anyways,
guess the race was cool.
Okay.
I don't know, not much to comment on.
Okay.
The battle was cool, and when I nearly spun like twice was cool. Yeah, and the cuts were shit.
Incredibly shit.
Okay. Well, thank you there, Arisneta. We will see you guys in a little bit. We got the MITS cars, or I can't saying it. We have the Formula Micros.
Again?
Another race?
Yeah,
Oh, hell no.
Have Formula Micros in
Reverse
GTI.
layout.
So that's gonna be a fun race. I think they actually, from my time driving them, they feel really nice on this track. So we'll get on with that one. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week with this class. That'll be on Sunday.